If you've been sitting on the fence about buying or selling in Aurora or Newmarket this year, July just handed you the clearest signal we've had in months. Prices are still down from last year in both towns, but the number of new listings is dropping faster than sales are, which is the exact setup that tightens a market fast. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through what actually happened in both towns last month, how far we are still from the February 2022 peak, and what it means if you're planning to move before the end of the year. Hi there, I'm Mary Cirqua. I'm a real estate sales rep with Red Home Realty, servicing the Aurora Newmarket areas and the surrounding areas. Everyone is talking about how real estate market is crashing. However, I've been seeing sellers get more money than expected, and buyers are buying homes that are value-driven prices, such as power of sales. If you're weighing a move in Aurora Newmarket for the remainder of this year, book a free call with me. The links are in the description down below. Let's start with a headline number for each town. In Aurora, the average price for all home types in July of 2026 came in at around 1.3 million. Last July, it was just under 1.5 million. That's a drop of just over 12% year over year. Homes there are still selling at about 95% of asking, averaging 34 days on market. Newmarket looks completely different though. July of 2026, the average price was around $967,000. Last July, it was about $984,000, and that's down less than 2%. And Newmarket's selling closer to full price at 98% of asking in about 27 days. So on paper, Aurora had the rougher year and Newmarket held steady. But averages only tell you where prices landed. They don't tell you what's happening underneath. And that's where these two towns start to look very different. Here's what's underneath Aurora's numbers. Sales jumped from 47 last July to 62. That's up almost 32%. At the same time, new listings dropped from 201 down to 163, down almost 19%. More buyers closing deals, fewer sellers listing. That's the exact combination that tightens a market, even while the average price is still down year over year. If you've been waiting on the sidelines in Aurora, hoping for more room to negotiate, that room is shrinking, not growing. And it's not just Aurora. Across the whole GTA, the Toronto Real Estate Board reported July sales basically flat, down less than 1%, while new listings dropped almost 18%. The average price across the GTA was just around $1 million, down 4.5% from last year. Toronto Real Estate Board's own chief economist said if this keeps up, prices could start leveling off through the fall instead of falling further. Worth remembering though, if you're timing a purchase around prices dropping more, that bet gets riskier by the month. Newmarket tells a steadier story. Sales actually dipped a little from 91 down to 82. New listings pulled back too, from 228 to 194. Both sides eased off roughly together, so the market didn't tighten the way Aurora's did. It just held its pace. But here's the number that matters more if you're thinking long term. Newmarket is still 33% below its February 2022 peak of just 1,444,000. Aurora, by comparison, is down about 20% from its peak of around 1.6 million. So if you're asking which town has more room left to recover, it's Newmarket. If you're asking which town is moving faster right now, it's Aurora. By the way, if you want access to a full list of power of sale homes in this area, be sure to click on the links down below, as I have a full list of homes that are readily available for you. Now let's break it down for detached homes in both towns. And in Aurora, the average price was just around $1,650,000 last month, down about 11% from last year. But with sales climbing and listings shrinking, a well-priced detached home is seeing real competition walk through the door again. Newmarket detached averaged just around 1.1, down a smaller 4.6% year over year. Semis and townhomes move differently in each town as well. Aurora semi-detached homes averaged just under 1 million at about 3% from last year. One of the only categories in Aurora that actually went up and not down. Aurora townhomes average around 950,000, down about 9%. In Newmarket, semis averaged around 770,000, close to about 14% down from last year. And townhomes averaged around 823,000, down about 9% as well. If you're selling a semi in Aurora specifically, you're in the one segment that the market had gained some ground from last year. Aurora condo apartments averaged around 630,000 last month, and Newmarket's average around 512,000. Both are down from their February 2022 peaks as well. Now, if you're buying instead of selling, here's a piece that affects you the most, and that is a selection. Active listings in Aurora dropped from 346 a year ago to 301 today. In Newmarket, they dropped from 373 to 331. And borrowing costs haven't gotten any better either. The 5-year sitting rate is around 4.25%. Of course, that can vary depending on the term and the type of product that you get. Prices in both towns are still below where they were last year, and both areas are still well under the February 2022 peak. That part hasn't changed. What has changed is how much is actually available to choose from. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment where prices are low and selection is wide open, that window is narrowing. It's not gone, but it's not getting bigger either. So here's what I'd actually do right now. If you're selling in Aurora, especially a semi or well-priced detached home, I wouldn't wait for the springtime. The competition is already back, and that's not guaranteed to last. If you're selling in Newmarket, price it honestly against where the market currently is, not where it was in 2022. Homes there are still moving well at 98% of asking when they're priced right. And if you're buying in either town, stop waiting for a bigger price drop and start watching the listings count instead. That's the number that tells you when your leverage is running out. So here's where both towns stand heading into fall. Aurora prices down 12% year over year, but sales are up and listings down. A market that's tightening in real time. Newmarket prices nearly flat year over year, but still a third below its 2022 peak. Steadier with more room left to recover. The number I'm watching in both towns for August is new listings. If they keep shrinking the way they did in July, that's the strongest signal yet that this slower window is closing. Now, if today's numbers changed how you're viewing or thinking about buying or selling in Aurora or Newmarket, let's talk it through. Book a free call with me. Again, the links are down below. Schedule a talk. I would love to chat with you. Hope you found this information helpful. I'll see you here next time. Take care. Bye-bye.